Hey, it's editors Gregory and Ashley, and we're here toasting the end of New York Fashion Week at Nurai. How was the week for you?
It was great. I can't believe we're at the end. The week kind of, it went by fast, but it was definitely a memorable week. Not a crazy week. I think it was, a really, I hate to say relaxing fashion week, but I think we really got to enjoy everything that we saw. It wasn't so whirlwind. One of my favorites was Tommy Hilfiger. I'm obsessed with football. I'm obsessed with Americana fashion, so put them together and it was absolutely amazing. I mean, Tommy Hilfiger basically transformed the New York Armory into a football field, and he sent down football dresses, football wedges. Gigi Hadid walked, Jordan Dunn walked. It was just one of the coolest, most fun collections I've seen in so long.
It was a big show for him. He was celebrating his, I think, 40th anniversary.
30th anniversary. So I
just aged him by 10 years.
I know. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm the same age as Tommy Hilfiger's collection. But it was just really cool. He definitely went all out, and I like how he really came back. Because remember, he was off the radar for a while, and he kind of couldn't really find his place in fashion.
He became more youthful, I think, over the years.
I think so too. There's something kind of rock and roll about Tommy Hilfiger now, and that you would never say that before.
Right.
Rita Ora was there. Apparently she's dating Rich Hilfiger now. Did you know that's her new boyfriend?
It's interesting.
He's rocking lime green hair, and so I think maybe that's helped Tommy get a little bit of edge too.
Yes.
Yeah. What else have you seen this week?
Speaking of rocker, I went to Calvin Klein, which actually did like an updated Mary Jane look with a lot of leather and like reflectant mirror accents. It was very cool.
I like that.
Also, I mean, one of the biggest shows, all eyes on, Oscar de la Renta.
Yes.
His successor, Peter Copping, kind of took over and injected this, speaking of more like youthful flares, injected this youthful flair to the collection. There was a lot of kind of like separated lace bodices, and Taylor Swift was there looking on, along with Barbara Walters, a very interesting pairing.
I mean, following Oscar de la Renta, those are such huge shoes to fill, and I think he did a really good job. I think people were really impressed, and I think also stayed true to the spirit of Oscar de la Renta.
Completely, and I think it was a much needed kind of youthful flair he added. We'll bring it to like the Taylor Swifts of the world.
Yeah, exactly. Still ladylike, but fun. I saw a menswear presentation that, I know I usually leave the men to you, but I went and hung with the boys at the Stephen F. presentation at the Plaza Hotel. It was held at the historic Oak Room, which used to be a favorite of Marilyn Monroe's, so we love that. Yeah. And it was a really cool presentation because it wasn't static models. The models were hanging out, they were drinking champagne, they were mingling with guests, and it ranged from, velvet tuxedos, very dapper, to like a blue leather bomber jacket. It was very refined, yet not mussy-fussy. I thought it was really cool, and this is, a huge debut for him. He's opening his store in New York City soon, so I think he's going to be one to watch in the next few seasons.
So let's talk about now overall trends of the week. One of my favorite was this androgynous look that's happening for men and women. It's just kind of like this idea of this gender-neutral look, like very sleek, and I love it.
Sometimes when you have those shows that have both men's and women's wear, like MALAN BRETON, for example, Frankie J. Grande, Ariana's flamboyant but fabulous brother, he opened the show, but there were some menswear and some women's wear, and you almost had to take a double take on who was who. Right. It was very androgynous. You really had to be like, okay, is that a girl? Is that a guy?
It's nice because you focus on the clothes rather than the gender, which people I think tend to look at first. So it's nice. It's more of the aesthetic that comes forth.
I agree. I saw a lot of berry colors, a lot of plums, wine, some fuchsias. I think that's going to be really big. Yeah. And of course the 70s, like we've talked about.
70s, yeah, they're back hard.
I think the 90s, except Jeremy Scott, I think with the exception of him, everybody's kind of over the 90s. Everyone's kind of over this kitschy cartoon look.
It happens. It's getting a little tired now. And was there any better decade than the 70s? No. It's just awesome.
I think it's going to have its staying power. I really love the silhouette of the legs that have changed. No longer like the skinny minis. It's going to be the high-waisted flares and the bell bottoms and those kind of palazzo pants. I just think it's going to be really easy and frankly, just a little more grown up, a little more sophisticated.
It's going to be fun.
I know. So that's kind of it for New York Fashion Week for February. Be sure to check with us next September as we get ready to go for spring 2016. Ooh, can you believe that that's the next one?
Sounds so futuristic.
Sounds very futuristic. But we will be there front row and center for all the shows. Thanks for staying with us all week long.